Welcome to Wine Time Mysteries, where we talk about true crime, the paranormal, mysteries, and cryptozoology with a dash of comedy. This podcast contains adult themes and is intended for mature audiences only. Don't forget to click follow and tickle that little notification bell. Now, find a comfy spot. We're about to start today's episode.
Want to know the name of my case today?
Fuck yes, I do.
Would ya?
Yeah,
It is the disappearance of Sharron Phillips. Yeah, bitch, I've got a cold case. How you like me now? This one happened. I didn't even ask you a question, and then I'm
How'd
like,
you like me now? Well, I'm not going to let
Anyway.
you answer. I'm going to tell you. Okay.
This case happened 36 years ago and has had some new leads and has been in the papers like as early as, well, late as 2021, just last year.
As recent as 2021?
As recent, yeah. As late, as new, as recent. That is the word I was looking for. And it's actually a very close to home case as well because it's in Brisbane, Australia. Shout out to Steve for suggesting this case.
Cheers, Steve.
On the evening of Thursday, May 8th, 1986, a young woman by the name of Sharron Phillips was headed to Sunnybank Plaza,
The year of my birth.
a shopping centre situated in Sunnybank, Queensland, Australia, with a girl from her work. On the year of your birth.
Thank you.
The pair were out to purchase some clothing, as just days earlier, 20-year-old Sharron met a 26-year-old man and had planned a dinner date at her apartment. with
He did
him
it.
the next evening.
Sorry, dude.
Guilty! Once they had finished shopping, they headed back to Sharon's flat, where they would have a cup of coffee. Sharron was in high spirits as she had just moved out of the family home, where she had lived with her parents and 8 other siblings, into her new flat in Archerfield just 5 months earlier. She enjoyed her job at Peaches and Cream Fruit Market and now had a potential love interest, so everything was just going good for old Sharron. Leaving her new clothes unwrapped in her apartment, she drove her friend home, who lived at Redbank Plains, about half an hour drive from her flat. Once her friend was home, Sharron headed towards Brisbane City on Ipswich Road, Wacol, when her canary yellow Nissan Bluebird ran out of petrol. Now, where she had run out of petrol, there was said to be a service station which is no longer there, not too far from her, and across the busy Ipswich Road was an entrance to the Wacol Army Barracks, which is now abandoned. But
I like Army, man.
trying her luck at the army barracks first, as she obviously needed a phone to call someone. The partying soldiers did not have a phone for her to use, so she headed to a payphone that was situated outside a snack bar in Wacol Station Road and asked for the operator to put her through as she didn't have any coins on her. It was said that she made 2 phone calls to the man she was talking to, one at 11:18 p.m, asking the gentleman to pick her up from the Shell garage that was just down the road, and another call being at 12:03, probably as a where the hell are you kind of call.
As in the guy she was going on a date with.
Yeah. I didn't want to put names and that in, so that's why I was just like, the gentleman caller. So yeah, she didn't know him for that long, but she wanted him to come
Help me.
Yeah.
Help me, I'm stranded.
pick him up. Shortly after midnight, she spoke to a man who was also needing a public phone, offering her a ride, but she had told him she'd run out of petrol and was waiting for a friend to pick her up. Now, the reason her gentleman caller was taking so long was because he didn't actually know what service station to go to. The days of not being able to easily contact someone or find the info you need on your phone.
Or maybe he was just an incompetent man.
Probably. Let's go with that one. He went to one service station a few kilometres up the road from the correct one and would actually get a flat tyre. After fixing the flat tyre, the gentleman noticed Sharron's car on the side of the road. On approaching the vehicle, he noticed she wasn't in there, and after looking around, he went home. It would later be said that he would have missed seeing Sharron by minutes.
That is hearsay.
By the following morning, Sharron's employer was one of the first to raise the alarm of Sharron missing due to her not showing up to work.
Sorry.
You're just on your own little world over there.
I'm pulling the button and I fell.
This was very unusual for her to just skip work. One of her co-workers would end up phoning her parents and even drove Sharron's usual way home to see if she could find anything at all. It was here that she spotted Sharron's car on the side of the road and saw a man tampering with it. She called out, "What are you doing to Sharron's car?" And the man ended up being Sharron's father. You see, allegedly, Sharron's father and mother were actually away the night of May 8th as they were picking up a truck at Gilgandra, which is about 700 kilometres south of Brisbane. They would not arrive home until around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and immediately went to bed. After a few hours, they noticed they'd received phone calls of Sharron's car being out on the road and people just being like, "What the fuck is her car doing out there?" They were apparently well known around the area. Now, her father wasn't the only one to get a call, as one of her younger brothers saw the car on Ipswich Road that Friday. He was on his way to work and would try calling her flat, to which he got no answer. By 8 p.m. Friday night, her mother, Dawn Phillips, reported to the Goodna police station that Sharron Phillips was missing. Somewhere around this time, Sharron's father and one of her brothers had actually gone to Sharron's apartment to look around and see what they could find. Like, I get it, but also don't touch anything. Evidence, my friends. Her father, Bob, also moved her car. And by moved, I mean picked it up and took it home.
Why?
No. Obviously, the police would say that this hindered the most crucial time of the case. Like, you start tampering with the evidence. Bob stated that police at the time ordered him to get the car off the side of Ipswich Road, but the police could not find anything to say that that was true or that it had been said to him. Now, her dad really stepped in to find out what had happened. He even found the phone number of the gentleman friend and questioned him as well. Now, this case had already started on the wrong foot, with not even the car being fingerprinted before it was moved. Investigation started firstly with the parents, to which Bob said the police didn't really talk to him, just his wife. They then interviewed Sharron's male friend, and he was quickly eliminated as a suspect. While all of this was going on, there was some pretty heavy rainfall. We've known a bit about that this year, haven't we?
A few times, yeah.
This is obviously not going to help with the investigation, with the possibility of washing away any clues as well. But also in my mind, I'm like, come on, why wasn't the area being looked at ASAP? Now, as I said earlier, the car had been moved, and then when police finally brought it back to the scene, there was some arguments over, was it even in the right location? Nearly a week later, police would find Sharron's wallet and shoes not too far from where the car had run out of petrol. Unfortunately, the police had no trail, no leads, and no clues to help them along to finding what had happened to Sharron. Her father was very well known at the time to go to the media and was just always pushing the case to light. By 1988, a man would come forward who claimed he saw Sharron on the side of Ipswich Road in distress, and then witnessed her being abducted by several men who threw her into a car. Due to the man being known as an alcoholic and apparently a pervert, as quoted by Bob, and who actually lived close to Sharron, this lead was not investigated at all, so it was just dismissed. Now, I do want to mention, before I go into a few things that have also come out about the case, as well as some other theories, is that there are a few incorrect articles out there, like stating the wrong facts, and just be careful what you find online with this one, my friends. Another man came forward by the name of Tony Prowse, who recalled a carload of hoons tearing down a little-known mining road near the coal mine dump at Swanbank. This was near Ipswich, and at the time their lights were off and they were going close to 100 miles an hour. It was around 3 a.m. that this happened on the night Sharron went missing. The man recalls the car being a bluey green and white HR Holden station wagon. He did alert police and said he could take them to the location if they wanted to kind of have a look around, as apparently the car kind of went into some bush area and then back out again, to which the police would tell him, they would check it out later. So this case, one thing I found, it was very frustrating that it doesn't really, not to be that guy, but not a very good job was done.
That seems to be the recurrent theme with a lot of the cases we study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Years later, it came out that some soldiers were actually investigated on her whereabouts due to some people actually bragging about killing Sharron. Detectives actually seized some clothing. I couldn't find what, and one actually had his house searched as well. A woman also came forward about a soldier she was scared of who said he was there the night Sharron Phillips disappeared and that he told the woman he had buried a knife. Another twist to the soldier thing was a lot actually claimed she never showed up, and a lot were told to also lie about her being there as well. So there's just a lot of, was she there? Did she go there? No one really knows. Now, this is an interesting one to look into, but on May 2016, a man by the name of Ian Seeley contacted homicide detectives and the media to say that he thinks his father, Raymond Peter Mulvihill, who worked for Ascot Cabs, was believed to have picked up Sharron from the station. Now, the hard thing with this is Raymond actually died in 2002 and his taxi apparently destroyed. So I don't know why destroyed, if it was just old or what had happened. I also wanted to mention this because I think it was super lame, but they had a nickname for Raymond as well. Australia's gingerbread man, because he would never be caught. I don't like it. Yeah. Oh, you'll not catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Fuck off. So this cab driver was based at Wacol, and the Sun went into detail that it was just a wrong place, wrong time, and it was not premeditated. He said that she was strangled and put into the car. When Ian went to the taxi base to get his father, he was told, "I've got something to put in the car." He then heard his father mutter, "Get the fuck in there or I'll kill you," and the sound of 2 car boots closing. He would later hear something banging in the boot and was all like, "What did you get me into?" His father also apparently held a knife to his throat and told him to get out of the car. He even claimed his father was a mass murderer, and also apparently ended up making a deathbed confession about disposing of all of these bodies, including Sharron's, in the drains of an area at Carroll Park, to which officers actually investigated. Now, you may think, yes, this man had something to do with it. However, the Sun admitted to having a history of mental illness and was also accused of lying to fit the story for a podcast he was doing. So this is being investigated as more stories as recent as 2021 have started coming out about the taxi driver and how he even told his sister-in-law he attacked Sharron Phillips before Ian, his son, killed her and dumped her body. Another couple also came forward saying they saw a taxi driver emerge from bushland with a shovel in hand 2 days after Sharron disappeared, and this was about a 15-minute drive from where she went missing. Now, my final little piece of, oh, that's interesting in this case, was that some of Sharron's siblings came forward with some information. In 2016, they broke their silence and urged police to examine their father's alibi the night that Sharron went missing. And the retired detective who worked on this case said that yes, the father's alibi is questionable. So this all came out around the same time as the taxi driver info, but unfortunately from what I can see, the police have just run with the taxi part and not with the info we'll hear shortly. So the retired detective actually got pretty close with the family, and his own wife admitted that Sharron's mother, who was heavily sedated and ill, said, "Bobby killed Sharron and put her in a box, and I want him to kill me and put me in a box too." Now, she apparently said that in 1991. The family have asked police to search a block of bushland close to their home in hopes of finding some clues. Unfortunately, they have had no help from police, and Sharron's older sister has actually been doing some land searches of her own and out of her own pocket. So this woman has literally been paying for, I don't know what they're called, but it's the one where they can kind of see a bit into the ground as well. Because apparently at the time it was like a vacant block and some townhouses were going to be built there. So they wanted to search the area properly before. But
Like a radar?
yeah, some kind of radar thing. And she was all doing this out of pocket. The siblings also claimed they were never interviewed by police, which I find weird. Like, wouldn't you ask the full family and get full reports done? It later came out that apparently Bob was angry at two of his daughters for moving out of the family home and not being able to contribute. The children now claim, after finding out about their father's alibi and what he had told the news, was that they didn't own any trucks at the time of Sharron's disappearance, and that he had actually sold the truck long before this had happened and had gone on a pension. Because remember, he said he went with his wife to pick up a truck. The former detective on this case started questioning the alibi as well, because if they went to pick up a truck, who brought the car back, as Dawn couldn't drive? Bob did pass away in 2015 and claimed he had nothing to do with Sharron's disappearance. The siblings began talking amongst themselves for the first time, and it was said up to 3 of them thought their dad had something to do with it. Now, before we wrap this up, I did want to mention that one of the sisters had finally got a hold of her parents' statements, which consisted of only 3 pieces of paper, and she was told she wasn't even allowed to take notes. I just thought it was very interesting that, like, why are you trying to hide that and not talk about it? Seems to be a lot of the police haven't done enough on this one, just saying. Now, for me, I heard the taxi driver and was like, yes. But this other part of the kids and how the parents weren't properly interviewed and the kids weren't, and the land not being searched near the house, just makes me question what really happened that night. Definitely go have a look into this case, because it's just wild and I haven't added all the details in. One thing I found interesting with this case as well is on the Ipswich motorway, they actually have signs up saying Sharron Phillips, like as to try and remind.
In memoriam.
Yeah, like jog people's memories as well. So before I finish up, I wanted to end on a little note of let's get her name back out there and see if we can get some more questions answered and find out what happened to Sharron Phillips. That is the end, my friend.
Dun, dun. Hopefully there are some updates and you can do like a little mini app on it.
Yeah, hopefully. But I haven't seen a lot of coverage lately on this one, so that's why I was like, I'm going to do it. So thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve. Steve. Thanks, Steve. Fucking Steve, you're a good bloke, mate. Fucking Steve.
Goodbye.
Bye.